Calaroga Shark Media.
I'm grouchy today. You ever just wake up grouchy for no reason? Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. My grouchiness is not your problem. Jon Stewart and Pete Davidson will mark the 25th anniversary of 9/11 with a charity show at Madison Square Garden. It is called NYC Still Rising After 25 Years, a 9/11 Charities Comedy Benefit. It will be on September 10th. Headliners include Jon Stewart, Pete Davidson, Dave Chappelle, the not-so-canceled Aziz Ansari, Bill Burr, just back from the Riyadh Comedy Festival, Ronnie Chang, Nikki Glaser, Josh Johnson, and, quote, many more yet-to-be-announced performers. 5 years ago, they did NYC Still Rising After 20 Years, a comedy celebration. At that show, Chappelle, Burr, Ronnie Chang, Amy Schumer, Mulaney, Fallon, Wanda Sykes, Colin Jost, Michael Che, Colin Quinn, David Tell, Jay Farrell, and Tom Segura. Pete Davidson's father was killed on 9/11. FDNY firefighter Scott Davidson died responding to the World Trade Center attack. Last year, Pete Davidson played the Riyadh Comedy Festival. John Mulaney made a major announcement. He was on the Today Show. Let's let John tell you about it.
Instead of doing one show in New York City, or even 3 shows in New York City for my tour, I'm going to do a very special run. 9 different iconic New York City venues in 9 nights. Thank you very much.
All right, more details. Mulaney takes Manhattan. The venues will range from the intimate to the massive. The stretch begins at the Comedy Cellar and works its way up. The dates, write this down. You got a pen? You could just hit rewind, you know. January 7th at the Comedy Cellar, then the Blue Note on the 8th, Joe's Pub on the 9th, Bowery Ballroom on the 10th, the Music Box Theater on Broadway on January 11th, then the Beacon Theater January 12th, Carnegie Hall the 13th, Radio City the 14th, Madison Square Garden the 15th. That is great news if you host a daily podcast about comedy and you find Januaries to be slow. Stavros Halkias will have a new special on Netflix September 8th. It is called Uncle Stav. Taped recently at the Lyric in Baltimore, Maryland. You may recall Stavros was going to tape this back in April, but had to push it back. He was recovering from a broken arm. No details on the story yet, other than you can watch it September 8th on your Netflix. Comedy Dynamics has a deal with Jeff Dunham to distribute his new stand-up special, which is titled Jeff Dunham's 250th Red, White, and Blue Birthday Special. That a celebration of America's 250th birthday. Ways you can celebrate America's birthday, of course, included going to a UFC fight at the White House like MAGA comedian Nate Bargatze, or putting out a comedy special. Shot entirely on iPhones, Jeff Dunham's special sees him celebrate America alongside puppet pals Walter, Peanut, Ahmed, and Bubba J. Are we just calling the character Ahmed now? Have we dropped the terrorist part of the character? I got to do some research on that. Hold on. All right, ChatGPT tells me Jeff Dunham still introduces the character as Ahmed the dead terrorist. However, I'm told in specific countries, because of local censorship or cultural sensitivities, for example, in Malaysia, Jeff Dunham has performed the character as Jacques Merde, the dead French terrorists. That's all sorts of interesting. The special is currently available on YouTube. It'll become available for streaming on Prime, Apple, DirecTV, and elsewhere starting October 6th. Dunham told Deadline, as July 4th got closer and closer and the material kept growing and getting funnier, I thought we have to shoot a special with the help of 6 iPhones. And some of the best geeks I know, we did it, and folks are loving it. Gabe Iglesias is getting another Netflix special, his 10th. He'll film it in San Antonio. On Instagram, Fluffy showed off his new Chihuahua puppy Bronco before saying, I have a new comedy special that I'm going to be recording August 20th. And I wanted to let you know the city I'm doing it in. It should come as no surprise. We were supposed to do it there the first time. San Antonio. San Antonio's been waiting 5 years for Gabe. He had to cancel some tour dates back in 2021 after he caught COVID. Jimmy Fallon is being accused of being a hack. When I was going through social media, I saw Late Nighter posted, Jimmy Fallon may have just earned a spot on Late Nighter's year-end best jokes list. I will play the joke for you in a second. But then others suggested it's not that original. Here's Jimmy Fallon's joke.
Oh, get this. I saw that a man in the UK just broke a world record by swallowing 15 fish sticks in 1 minute.
Oh, gross. How would you even find him? What a pervert. Jeez. That's disgusting. It's a family show, I thought.
Ugh, sticks. Fish sticks.
Okay, you get the joke there. You get the wordplay. However, Bro Bible points out that wordplay is at least 17 years old. It showed up in a season 13 episode of South Park titled Fish Sticks. That episode co-written by Bill Hader. I'm going to deliberately slam the words together. In that episode, Cartman and Jimmy are writing a joke that becomes a viral sensation. Jimmy asks Cartman if he has any snacks. Jimmy says there might be fish sticks in the freezer. The dialogue, Jimmy, do you like fish sticks? Cartman, yeah. Do you like putting fish sticks in your mouth? Yeah. Jimmy then asks, what are you, a gay fish? Bro Bible says Fish Sticks isn't any old episode of South Park. It's widely considered to be one of the top 5 or 10 best in the history of the series. Ricky Gervais is all excited about Alley Cats, his animated series about cats coming to Netflix in August. It features a group of feral felines. Gervais says recording the show is his dream job and would like to keep working on it for the rest of his life. He voices Gus the cat in the show. He told the Daily Mirror, "It's the first thing I've ever created that I'd like to go on forever. I can see myself just making the show till I die. The cats won't age, and it doesn't matter how fat and old and bald I get. Someone could just put me in a chair with a microphone surrounded by the rest of the cast, then off we go. It won't really matter when senility kicks in, as I'm usually talking BS anyway. It's the dream job. Hey, Ricky, by then your AI clone will be pretty good. We don't even need you." Ricky assumes people will complain about the show, and he said it would take a very special kind of person to complain about what a fictional cartoon cat thought of something, but it will happen. Please don't be offended by anything these characters say or do. They can't help it. They're cats. Ricky says he's always been obsessed with cats, and the show is inspired by his own pet Pickles. Ricky said, I've never understood cruelty to animals. I think most people have empathy toward animals, but it has to be nurtured and encouraged. I was born into it. My family loved animals and grew up in a household with dogs and cats. Cats are the only animals to domesticate themselves. They just wandered into humanity one day and said, feed me. That happened about 10,000 years ago in Egypt, where they were worshipped as gods. As everyone knows, they've never forgotten this. I've been obsessed with cats my entire life. They're cool, funny, cuddly, violent, and indifferent, often all in the same minute. Alley Cats, Netflix, August 7th. Fans of the Opie and Anthony radio show may find this one interesting. You may recall after Anthony had some career troubles. I can't get into that. I teach a radio college class, and we do 2 straight weeks on Opie and Anthony and how Anthony blew up his career for a while. And then you may recall Jim Norton did a show with Opie and Jim show. Well, now Jim Norton is teaming up with Anthony. Here's Jim Norton to tell you about it.
Hi, I'm Jim Norton.
Oh, I'm Anthony Cumia.
And we're doing a show together. I guess the Anthony and Jim thing on the background kind of tells them that.
That's what it says if you look at the monitor, which I'm trying not to do.
It's very difficult, isn't it?
It's so difficult.
But I had to have you on the left because, first of all, it's the only time I'll ever see that. And second of all, because on O&A, you were always, Opie was always across, you were always on the left. And it's just, I'm used to talking to you like
that
this.
That is true, yes. That we had our little side of the desk. Ope was behind the board.
Yeah.
We were... making funny, making jokes, and getting in trouble.
We would have done this a year, like as soon as I was done with Sirius and I was allowed to, we would have started this.
Yeah.
But, you know, you live in the South and I'm in New York and it just became logistically difficult.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do an episode every other week on YouTube. And we are going to have, in the weeks in between, we're going to have Patreon episodes.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes we'll have guests, sometimes it'll be just me and you.
Okay, so according to Norton, episode 1 will be on the YouTube channel Tuesday, August 4th. And then there's some Patreon stuff. And I don't know, just put it on a podcast feed and I'll listen to it, dude. Don't make it hard. I want to congratulate the agents of Rick Glassman. Now you're like, who? Exactly. Rick Glassman somehow got a fluff piece in the Hollywood Reporter, so great job, agents, publicists, everybody getting this done. We are told Rick Glassman has built a strong following with his podcast, Take Your Shoes Off, where the stand-up comic sees interviewing celebrity guests as almost the perfect first date. Have you heard of this thing? Do you host a podcast in your basement and Google comedy and comedian every single day of your life, and this has never hit your radar? Apparently, there's 368 episodes of this, and the most recent one has 109,000 views. That's late night with Seth Meyers territory, buddy. Anyway, Glassman tells the Hollywood Reporter somehow there's flirting involved, and flirting doesn't have to have romantic interest. Flirting to me is similar to repartee. You nudge a little, you push a little, and you let them do the same. Glassman says, I love when people come on for a second time on the podcast, especially if they want to get high for the occasion. Don't do your podcast high. Glassman explains, I had a good time with you the first time. Let's see what it's like when we're extra silly. Again, congratulations to the agents and the ensemble who somehow got that piece printed. Deadline tells us San Francisco comedian and labor organizer Nato Green We'll have an hour of comedy. It is called The Darkest Hour. It'll be on Blonde Medicine's YouTube channel July 31st. That's what? Tomorrow. It'll be out on album August 14th. In The Darkest Hour, Nato Green wanted to go beyond jokes about the news to grapple more substantively with this political moment in history, guiding the audience through a conversation about fascism, Zionism, transphobia, white supremacy, and the political spectrum. Green tells Deadline, there is comedy of escapism, but this is whatever's the opposite of that. Also sounds like not for me. And that is your comedy news for today. I will see you tomorrow.